So you want to learn how to draw. That thing we all used to do in elementary school before some of us lost our way and became adults, thus losing any and all creative thoughts in our brain. And you've come to see what the bottom of the barrel has to offer. Well, the title of this video is how to draw the fundamentals, so that's what I'm going to attempt to do. This may not be professionally done, but I'll try to make this a grand old time. And plus, I'll probably look back on this and see how much I got wrong, and this will just be kind of like a growth experiment. But let's get right into what I consider the basics, step by step. Step 1. Utensils. You need something to draw with, so pick up a pen or pencil, paintbrush, pastels, Crayola crayon, feather with the ink. Don't worry, you just need something to meet paper. So no worries, it's not about what you're using really. It might be useful to look into some commercial pens and pencils later down the line to find a style you like. But when starting off, the softness of the lead and the kind of ink you're using doesn't really mean anything. And when an artist is itching to draw, they'll use anything at their disposal. Now you're gonna need some paper too, so head to your backyards and chop yourself a tree. Step 2. Shapes. I'm going to assume that everyone watching this video has at least passed kindergarten and they know their basic shapes. The fundamentals of figures are shapes, usually circles and squares, or a form of square like a rectangle. The better you get at seeing the shapes and things, the easier it'll be to visualize what shapes you need to start off your guidelines in. For instance, a couple of rectangles stacked on top of each other with a couple of circles added looks like a car. Pretty simple, right? But wait, there's more. We don't see things in a two-dimensional plane. We live in a three-dimensional world where things pop out at you. So the car looks like a car. Kind of. If you were standing beside the car looking at it from a certain point of view, it might look like this. But let's add some more rectangles and circles to give it some depth, some more details, and voila! This is the case since usually we walk around things and see them from a different perspective, which brings us into Step 3. Perspective. You have to know what angle you're using at something because things usually converge. And what I mean by this is if you've ever seen a photo of a railroad track standing on it looking down a ways, you'll notice that the tracks head in one direction. That's 1 point perspective, because the railroad tracks head in 1 point and you see the horizon line. 3 and 4 point perspective is also a thing. You need to know how to use perspective when it comes to backgrounds and environment pieces. I'm not good at any of this and it's annoying as an artist and so time consuming. So let's take these few things that are super duper important to draw some things. I'm going to draw the layout of a room. I recommend drawing what you see or what's around you. Be observant. Take advantage of even boring situations. If you find yourself at a doctor appointment, then look around the room and see how the room is structured or what it has. You might have to draw something like that in the future. What I used to do is take random pictures of buildings or complicated pieces of furniture to build almost a memory log of things in my head. Now, cylinders are also going to be used a lot since there are a lot of objects that are rounded. Take this lamp, for example, and this table. It's like a cylinder but squished, or just a circle. How to make your perspective seem coherent, you need to have lines facing the same way. Like pretty soon you'll see how the lines from the furniture are parallel. See that? Yeah, that's good. Everything has a sense of direction. Of course, you can break this rule if something is tilted or whatever, but let's keep it all straight and Tetris-like. If one thing is important besides the obvious never give up line, is not to be afraid of having a few mock drafts. When I have a drawing of a character or object, I know it's not going to look perfect on the first try. I might not even like the angle or the form and scrap it all together. And that's okay. It's better to have a good guideline that you'll be wanting to put the time into than to have an okay sketch and have the mentality of, well, it looks bad now, but maybe I just need to put more details in it and it'll look better. Frustration pretty much comes with the territory, but so does any creative process that doesn't have a cap. Like, you don't learn all the things there is to learn and then you're magically a perfect artist now. There is no such thing as a perfect piece of art.
Anyone who says differently is selling something.
But use the frustration to fuel the fire. If you suck at drawing hands or animals, then devote yourself to drawing those things only and exclusively. People say practice makes perfect, but in this case, practice makes okay, or practice makes adequate. And that'll be what you need to keep going because you want to be perfect at your craft. And that doesn't only apply to art. Now, I realize that this video is kind of boring and it's just laying down the groundwork, but that's really what you need to start off as an artist, or to see things from the perspective of an artist. And don't worry, my little tards, I'll get into some other videos where I'm just straight character drawing or doing something else that I'm a little bit better at. I may or may not do another video on other things that I consider fundamentals, or at least maybe a little more advanced. I'd like to have the time to cover shading and dynamic figure drawing later down the line. And that's kind of it for the basics. I'll pretty much leave it at that with you guys. I'll have some videos for other things. Remember, it's not about what you're using, it's about how you're using them. It's about how drawing and art, everything makes you feel. And like anything else, it's a muscle. The more you work at it, the stronger it gets. The same thing goes for this and a lot of other aspects in life. Now, before I ramble on and go off on a tangent, I'll leave these tasty nuggets of information for you guys for now. So thanks to those who watched this video, and I'll see you guys next time.